Welcome into this week's Board Check. I'm Jeremy the Impact York, bringing you everything I can about the Atlanta Gladiators and, of course, the Boston Bruins, who have been a little busy here lately. Both teams have, actually. Of course, I want to start off with the Boston Bruins, who are actually on a huge upswing here lately. I believe they're like 4-1 ever since Claude Julien was let go of his duties. He's now went to Montreal, where they're continuing to be Montreal and sliding. And, of course, Coach Cassidy has done a fantastic job here. I want to tell you about a few things first, and then we're going to get into the trades probably in the next segment. And, of course, we'll get into some Gladiators late and tell you about some of the fun events coming up with both of those. Right now, there is a trip to the Mohegan Sun on March 11th that, if you're anywhere close, you should definitely go check that out. The Bruins website has more about that, of course, NHL.com as well. And then there's because of hockey through the Star Market, there's another big contest they were having. Make sure to go check those out. But, you got to look at the Bruins and say that a lot of people thought they'd be sellers at the trade deadline. It turns out they're a little bit of buyers. There was a deal earlier today. I'll get into that in the next segment. But Tuukka Rask has been able to carry him this far. They still have the faith in him to do everything whatsoever, and you guys can't yell at me anymore, because if you look right over my shoulder there, we have some new decorations and new hardware, so to say, here in the studio, where we got that big banner there. We're going to have some other stuff coming up. Still got the awesome Gladiator jersey here. But as far as the Bruins, as long as Rask keeps playing this way, Kudobin has been starting to hold his own. Can't hold anything against him. We've had all kinds of people. Marchand is still scoring. Bergeron is still scoring. But now we've got Chara involved. We've got Spooner involved. We've got all these other guys that are suddenly coming into their own. I think it's this up-tempo, fast-paced, non-Julian type stuff. It's all Coach Cassidy, and he's been able to really get the most out of this team. So, just keep sticking with them. A lot of people wanted to abandon this team. I've heard from a few friends that do other shows and from other people that cover the team, and a lot of people were ready to give up on this team, but I'm glad all of us really did not. And, the pipeline's looking good with Gladiators players for down the road. But right here at the trade deadline, there's some just crazy ones we're going to get into, seriously. But the Bruins have got a couple games coming up. They just got to keep up the pace. They almost, to a point, have to win out. They got to win about 90% of their games to sneak in and take that other spot, because the Panthers have suddenly started to play well. They've upgraded and put some other things in place. Good thing is we don't have to worry about teams like the Lightning, who just decided to flip their roster upside down. That's totally on them. But like I said, I really attribute this to the fast pace that Coach Cassidy has been able to bring to this. It's breathed life into people like Zdeno Chara, who a lot of people thought were just out of it. Carlo has benefited from it as well. Just, hey, be excited, Bruins fans. You should absolutely be excited. In fact, you should be more excited, and we'll be putting more cool stuff like that. I know Cam Neely is still maybe the one holding back some of this, but he did pull the trigger on some deals. So when we get more into those in the next segment, I'm going to do my best to go over as many of them as I can. And the best news is I'm watching the Blackhawks and the Penguins just destroy each other right now, including Ron Hainsey, who just joined the Penguins, took a puck off the face. So be glad that none of our guys have took pucks off the face. The Bruins continue to surge, and I'm proud of them. I know you guys are proud of them, right? I mean, just absolutely proud of the way they're playing. And it's not like if they don't make it. No, they're going to make the playoffs. Right now, the best thing we can hope for is that we go the Atlantic path, because if we finish third in our division, we're going to pretty much get the Penguins of the Capitol straight up to start with. I would much rather play one of the other teams, kind of build up our momentum going into a series, because the Capitol's loaded up as well with Shattenkirk. It happens, but I'm not that worried about it, because that doesn't really change the Capitals around enough, and I think we can give them enough of a fight. A lot of our young guys are really starting to play. It's just really this resurgence. Hockey is one of the few sports that if you fire a coach, usually in mid-season when the next guy comes in, it breathes life into the team. I mean, if that was the case, you might go through 2 or 3 coaches in a year, right? Just kidding. Now, we like Cassidy. I hope he ends up sticking around. From what I'm hearing, he's going to be able to stick around. Don Sweeney, between him and Cam, we'll see what they end up doing. I think at some point we got to get Cam out of there. But he's done an okay job. He hasn't lost this team. So, shout out to everybody that stayed with the Bruins. And, let this thing play out. So, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk some NHL trades. It is definitely the meat in this sandwich today. And I'm going to try to get through as many of them as I can. And I got a list. I'm going to pull it straight up so we don't miss any of them. But we'll get into that in a minute right here on BoardCheck for period number 2. We'll see you in a minute. And we are back for period number 2 right here on BoardCheck. Jeremy the Impact York. I'm going to try to get through as many of these trades as I can. Hopefully I can get through as many of them and try to make as much sense as I can of these. There have been a ton. I bet at least 40 players have changed teams between just this past couple weeks. So without further ado, I'll tell you the Columbus Blue Jackets acquired left wing Laurie Kopakowski from the Stars for Dylan Hetherington. What Laurie adds to the Blue Jackets, he actually played under John Tortorella during his time with the Rangers. He is a solid two-way forward, and Hetherington is just a big 6'4", 200-something pound defenseman who is just going to add a lot of meat to. He was an early round pick a couple years ago. He's going to add a lot of meat to the Stars, who, can't stop a runny nose right now. So, I think the Stars are going to end up winning that in the overall, but for right now, Columbus definitely loaded up. Of course, the Boston Bruins acquired right winger Drew Stafford from the Winnipeg Jets for a conditional 6th-round pick. Conditional usually means it depends on if Stafford sticks around next year, or if he plays so many games this year, it could turn into a 5th, maybe it could turn into a 7th. All kinds of conditions can surround that, but him for a 6th, I have no problem with that whatsoever. He will be an unrestricted free agent on July 1st, I believe. He is a 4-time 20-goal scorer. He's kind of slipped a little bit. Perfect home for him here to improve. But down the stretch, this guy knows how to score. So he's going to definitely help our Bruins. I definitely like having Stafford. Of course, at BoardCheck, at the Impact 99, at Team Impact Media, if you want to chime in, let us know what you think of us picking up Drew Stafford from the Jets. Anytime we can make the Jets a not-so-good team, I'm absolutely for it. Now, moving on. Mark Streit is going to move from the Lightning to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, the Lightning got him from the Flyers earlier today. Yeah, Mark Streit started as a Philadelphia Flyer just earlier today. And then he moved to Tampa. And then from Tampa, now he's moving to Pittsburgh. And in the same 24-hour period. Just crazy. But Chris Letang is currently having an upper body injury, so Streit is going to be some insurance on the power play. And the Lightning are going to get a 4th-round pick in the 2018 draft. The Lightning are suddenly having a fire sale. That's fine with me. But like I said, one of the guys they just got, Hainsey, just took a puck to the face earlier today. So the Penguins may be down another defenseman. I have not seen if he went back in. Shout out to Patrick Kane, who just absolutely crushed one into the goal. Moving on, the Maple Leafs traded defenseman Frank Corrado to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Imagine that. The Penguins are loading up on defense for Eric Fair and defenseman Steve Oleski and a 4th-round pick. Basically, they're just adding more depth to their defense because they know they're going to have to do something to stop Alex Ovechkin. And, hey, you know what? We're a threat, too. So they're going to have to stop the Boston Bruins. The odd thing was that the Colorado Avalanche kept Matt Duchene and Gabriel Landeskog, and everybody thought they were going to be gone, but they ended up staying. The Senators traded Curtis Lazar and defenseman Michael Koska to the Flames for defenseman Yuri Jokopaka and a second-round draft pick. And I probably just butchered that name, but Jokopaka, you can call in and correct me. But basically, they're just kind of moving some players back and forth. The Ottawa Senators made some kind of goofy moves today. This one might have been one of their better ones, but at the same time, they're just kind of swapping contract for contract, and there was a pick involved. So, good luck to either player there. Maybe you do a little better. The Predators are loading up because they're going to have to, because they're going to have to go through people like the Sharks and potentially the Kings, and we'll get to the Kings in a minute. But the Predators acquired right winger P.A. Parentu from the Devils for a 6th-round pick. He has 13 goals, 14 assists, and 59 games this year, and he will be an unrestricted free agent in July 1st. Pretty much, if you don't think you could re-sign your potential free agents, you found a new home for him. So there's a good chance he might stay in Nashville. He is only 33, could play a couple more years. Makes Nashville a better power play team, and he's a top 6 player for a good price. So David Poile did a very good job out of Nashville. The Flyers acquired Valtteri Filppula, or Filppula. I'll say it. I'm not having a good day on these names, but I'll do my best. A 4th-round pick and a conditional 7th-round pick all this year from the Lightning for Mark Streit. We talked about him being flipped earlier. This was the first part of the deal that sent him from the Flyers to the Lightning, and then obviously the Lightning to the Penguins. The Columbus Blue Jackets acquired defenseman Kyle Quincy from the Devils for Dalton Prout. He has 4 goals and 8 assists in 53 games this year, and he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. He is going to give the Blue Jackets another experienced defenseman for a playoff run, and they're going to need it because they're going to have to go through some pretty tough teams as well. Thomas Vanek is going to be going to the Florida Panthers by way of the Detroit Red Wings. He'll be an unrestricted free agent in July, of course. He should be a solid addition to what's already a pretty up and just out of nowhere Yager-led Panthers offense. Suddenly the Panthers are out of nowhere and kind of in our way as far as playoff run. I think they own the tiebreaker with us, but we do play everybody that's above us. We seem to play them between here and now. So the Red Wings are going to get Dylan McElrath back and a 3rd-round pick in this year's draft. The Kings, this may have been my favorite deal of the day just because I'm a fan of this guy. And the Kings are I got some friends over that way as well. Obviously, we used to cover them here. The Kings acquired right wing Jerome Ginla. Oh, maybe I'll say it right one day. Jerome Ginla from the Avalanche for a conditional 4th-round pick in next year's draft. He's not his normal scoring self, but that's a guy who knows how to put the puck in the net. And with them trying to make a playoff run now, adding Bishop the other day, there's a good chance you got to say, look out, Kings now. Montreal Canadiens acquired Dwight King from the Kings for a conditional 4th-round pick. The Canadiens, the Kings had plenty of forwards to kind of put around, so they were able to get something for Dwight King. Good luck to King up there, and then hopefully his style game goes well up with the Habs. He's only 27, and he could be a free agent soon, so he could always come back. You never know. Wouldn't mind having him in Boston next year as well. What are we missing? The Canucks, who have been pretty busy. They moved forward Yannick Hansen to the San Jose Sharks for prospect Nikolai Goldobin and a conditional 4th-round pick. Could be a 1st-round pick if the Sharks win the Stanley Cup. Could be a 1st-round pick then. I don't know. There was also a deal where Steve Ott went from the Red Wings to the Canadiens. Detroit will receive a 6th-round pick this year for Ott, who will be a potential free agent. The Canadiens also brought defenseman Brandon Davidson from the Oilers. Oilers will get David Descharnais in return. The Blackhawks traded for Johnny Aduya, the former Thrasher, and former Blackhawk actually. He played for them from 2011 to 2015, won a Stanley Cup twice. He was traded for prospect Mark McNeil and a conditional 4th-round pick. He will actually give the Blackhawks a lot of depth that they will definitely need because, like I said, they've already had people take pucks to the face tonight. And that is most of the bigger ones that happened in the last couple days. So hopefully I was able to keep you guys as caught up as I can at those. And when we come back, we will talk about some Atlanta Gladiators hockey, and we'll get on with the rest of our evening right here on BoardCheck. We'll be right back. And we're back here on BoardCheck. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. We're here for period number 3. And we're going to talk about the Atlanta Gladiators. I want to tell you about some fun events coming up. They've kind of been on a little bit of an upswing as well. It's not they've been playing necessarily just, balls out better than they were before, but it seems that the additions that they've had over the last month or so have really propelled this team and really set us up, I think. We're still hanging on, trying to get inside the playoff bubble there, but I feel good about where this team's going in the next couple years as well. Plus, they're still a fantastic watch. So if you can't watch them, definitely listen to Chris Treft on the call. If you can't listen to them that way, DVR the games, go to the games. These are fantastic games. Only a couple bucks you can get in, and they have some cool giveaways and cool things going on at all times. And there's a good chance that you're going to see us at the game. So make sure and say hi. And, who knows, if you come up and introduce yourself, maybe I ask you a trivia question. If you get it right, we'll give you some swag. That's the way it works. But I want to tell you that Princess Day, I got all choked up. Princess Day just gets you right here. Princess Day is Sunday, March 12th for $40 per person. You can have your little prince or little princess, they do both, meet the Ice Princess and her friends and do a sing-along on the ice. Should be a lot of fun. They do a luncheon, I believe, as well, so make sure to check AtlantaGladiators.com for more information on that. Friday, March 10th, I believe. Yeah, that'd be March 10th. Is the last $5 Frenzy. Now, of course, they're going to have 2 hats. They're going to have the flat bill and the jersey hat there. You can find those. Oh, no, that's Saturday, March 11th. My apology. That's right, the day before the Princess Day. Saturday, March 11th is $5 Frenzy with the 2 different hats you can get. They both look fantastic. May have to grab them both. Who knows? We all know I like hats. I know you guys don't get to see that a lot, but I like hats, trust me. The 3 places you can find these hats is the club level parking deck entrance, the main lobby, and the concourse level outside of section 103. Now, has anybody seen Matt Ginn lately? He has been his evil twin has been playing even more phenomenal than he was earlier in the year. I mean, he is just I think Gin and Tonic or something is his Gin and Tonic 33 maybe. Fantastic follow as well. But Matt Ginn has been just unreal. He is putting up Tuukka Rask-like performances, keeping the guys in games all the time, and he's really been one of the cornerstones of this team this year. So shout out to that guy. Shout out to Matt Ginn for holding down the fort, doing all these fantastic things like he's doing. Your upcoming schedule. Let's see. Upcoming schedule. This weekend, this Friday, that'd be the 3rd. This Friday, they are in Florida to take on the Everblades. That is a 7:30 start. On Saturday, that is a 7 p.m. start in Florida once again. They will not have another game till Friday Frenzy, even though it's on a Saturday. Maybe that's what threw me off. But won't have another game till then. So make sure, if you're in the Florida area, go shout at the Everblades and go cheer on your Atlanta Gladiators. Show them how much you really care. And upcoming schedule also for the Boston Bruins, of course. The Boston Bruins have a game this Thursday. That'll be tomorrow night against the New York Rangers. That is at home, 7 p.m. puck drop. It's probably on a major network if you do not get Bruins on your television. This Saturday, they are at home against the New Jersey Devils. That is a 7 p.m. puck drop. I believe that may be an NBC game. I want to check on that. And then, of course, Monday, they will be in Ottawa to take on the Senators, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, puck drop on that one. And that's going to do it for us this week. So, shout out to the Boston Bruins. Shout out to the Atlanta Gladiators. Remember, if you catch us at any of these games, I'm usually not a hard one to find. I usually look a lot like this. I may look slightly different, especially if I get a couple of those hats. But come by, and the first few of you guys that come up and introduce yourself, say you're fans of the show. I'll ask you a trivia question, and a good chance you can win some swag because my questions are really easy. But that's going to do it for me. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys next week on BoardCheck. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Have a good one, and watch out for flying pucks to the face. Get hurt.
Let's do